Welcome to Retired for Life. I'm your host, Brian. I retired a few years ago after 30 years in a factory job as a machinist in a millwright. I needed to rediscover what life could really be like. When we purchased this property, the house had stood empty for over a year, and the property had been badly ravaged by poor logging practices. Since my retirement, I've been working to renovate the home and restore the surrounding forest to its natural beauty and attract wildlife back to the property. Join me as I learn about nature and working with wood to create the backdrop for this new chapter of our lives. Well, we've got something a little bit different to work on today. Now, as you may recall from a much earlier video, I have a neighbor who had a sawmill that unfortunately burnt down. So he lost the building, a bunch of lumber. The sawmill was a complete write-off, and he now has a new one sitting back there, and he's getting ready to go with it. But one of the things he has asked me to look at is to help him replace kind of a custom cantilever that he has. Now, this is a typical cantilever. This one is actually a little bit shorter because I had broken the end section of this off, so I redid it and put the end back on using the same handle. Now what Art is looking for is a much shorter cant hook or cantilever. His sawmill is very automated. It's got a log flipper and that kind of thing. So he wants something short, easy to use for fine adjustments and that type of thing. Now he used to have something like this, but lost it in the fire. So he has brought me up the hardware that's left over from this old cant hook. Now this was an ancient piece of equipment, so it was pretty rusty and whatnot in the first place, and now it's been through a fire. So there's not much left. So let's have a look and see what it is we've got to work with. So yeah, it is in pretty rough shape. Now you can see that this thing was really old. It almost looks like it was hand forged at some point in time. So the bolts that went through it are in pretty tough shape. A couple of carriage bolts. I think we'll replace those. The hook looks in pretty good shape. There's a lot of play in it, but we're not going to worry too much about that. And then there's this spur that goes on at the end of the cantilever, and this goes over top of it to help hold it in place. Now it looks like it was held in with a through rivet here. That really doesn't look like it was much more than a nail that was basically pushed through, heated, and peened over on the other end. So I guess there was still something attached to this, and he took the hacksaw to it. So we won't be reusing that. All right. So I've got a piece of elm that we're going to put up in the wood lathe and see what we can come up with. So, as I have mentioned in a number of things that I work on, I am not an expert on this. And in this regard to lathe work, I am very much a novice. So my experience on a wood lathe, the only experience I had, took place back in, I believe it was grade 7. So not that long ago. Well, we're almost down to round, and as you can see, the spindle gouge does leave a pretty rough finish. I mean, it is a gouge, it's meant for roughing down. So we're getting close to our round. All right, that looks pretty nice now. I think our next step here is to clean up the lathe, and then we'll look at how we're going to mount our hardware on here. I've got a few new pieces to do that. So let's see what we can figure out. So this is the piece that holds that kind of spur in place on the end. Now I've made this so that it's a pound-on fit, because I want that good and tight over there. All right, but before we put this on, we've got to cut a groove in here for that spur that fits in the end. So let's see if we can figure out how to do that. All right, I think that's gonna hold it. So let's see if we can't lay out just where we want this. So I want it very close to the end here. All right, I think that's gonna do it. So we need to cut in our outline here. All right, we've got to start here. I'll bring you guys a little closer, and I'm going to try to start carving out this bit here. All right, never done any kind of wood carving before, so I'm sure this is going to be interesting.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I've been holding in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm about to blow. We walking through the honky tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the shops and it's away we go. It's a throw down, get down. Order up another round of shots. Trying to get drunk, get some have fun. Get into some trouble, baby, like in a night. I'm a gym, been drinking, big, singing la 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 la, dancing machine. Been a hell of a week and I need to go off and see. Look at those. I've been holding it in through the whole work week. Now it's Saturday night and I'm about to blow. So come on now, man, and play me none of them slow songs. I need boots, barn burning, hail raising, get up and go songs. But give me something hot, just give me all you got. Now let's give old Luke Miller a try. Go ahead. I've been holding it in through the whole work week. Now it's Saturday
All right, guys, I've got a little ways to go yet. What I'm going to do is keep scraping away at this, and then I'll bring you back when I'm closer. All right, folks, I think we have got this now. This looks good. So that's upside down. Yeah, that's the way it should go. So the idea is to put this ring on first. So we're going to bang it down into place and then slip this underneath the ring, and the ring will hold it down in place, and then we'll put one screw into there. All right, let's get the ring on and we'll see how it looks. All right, let's see if I've got any idea as to what the heck I'm doing at all here. Excellent. So we've got one more little job to do on the wood lathe with another piece of hardwood that we've got. We're going to make a shovel handle. And again, this one is looking to be a short handle. All right, we're going to drive that home and then put a screw in it. There we go. One short shovel. That's pretty good. So we've got a bit of a mess here to clean up. We will get that done. And then we're going to start and do a little bit of outside work, hopefully. I've got to, I want to do some preliminary clearing of some of the trees for a trail back down behind the shop. And we're going to test out a mini chainsaw doing that. All right, folks, so any thoughts, suggestions, comments, anything like that? As always, I would love to hear from you. I really appreciate it. I always learn a lot from the comments that I get, helping me figure out how to do something a little bit better the next time. So remember to stay safe out there, be good to each other, and we will see you out on the trails the next time. Let's go dig a hole.
Well, I'm sitting here in a chicken store, got a tall stack of papers and so much more.